It's MyEd with Jeff. Seriously, it's MyEd with Jeff. Okay, why isn't it taking a picture? Oh, it's taking a video. Special codes, footnotes, and custom comments in MyEDBC. Back to my calculus alter ego, we're going to talk about how you create footnotes and special categories. These things are useful tools mostly for yourself for footnotes, and then for categories, it can give you a mark to replace the mark that you're using and exempt a student without having to go to the students list. So here we are. We're Mamoun Sumay again, and we're going to go to the Tools top tab. And along the side tab here, you'll see we have grade scales, uh, we have special codes, and we have comments and footnotes. So we're going to start with our special codes. We don't have any listed here, so we're going to go Options, Add. And when you create your special code, it becomes something that you can enter into your gradebook. So, for example, if a student was medically unable to complete an assignment for whatever reason, then you can create one that is exempt from calculations. You can choose to report it as a missing assignment if they're going to be able to make it up later on, or need to make it up later on. But if they don't need to make it up, then you can just leave it the way it is. And you can also set a color for it so that it gives you a visual reminder on screen. This would be a great thing if they do have to come back and make it up later on so that you can see it on there. So I'm going to give it a salmon pink kind of thing there. And I'm also going to create a category for, you know what, I'm not going to. Okay, so there's one category that we have on this list. Um, and then we're going to go down to the footnotes section. And again, we see no footnotes here. Um, what happens with a footnote is it's going to show up on the scale, like on the mark, but it's not going to have any effect on the grade at all. So a great example of it would be a way to track late assignments. So I'm going to put in here uh, L8, the code, and then for its description, I'm going to say uh, handed in late. Late, not later, late. Okay. Um, so I'm going to press save on that, and I've saved a footnote. And um, then I'm going to make one more, just because not everything can be about bad stuff. I'm going to say this one is going to be, and these are 2-letter codes, so you have to can conserve, and you have to make sure that it doesn't duplicate another code. So I'm going to call this one EY for early, handed in, and that was great typing. Handed in early, and I'm going to save that one. So now when I go back to that footnotes, you can see that I have those two codes available to be entered. That's all I have to do. I have my special code of med, and I have footnotes here. So I'm going to go back to the gradebook, to my Calculus 12 gradebook, and you'll see I have um, those populated scores from before. So here's test one. Now, let's say that Leaf Cerna Gonzalez has was um, off with a astounding case of mumps during this test and therefore couldn't complete it. So I'm going to throw down, instead of 90%, I'm going to put med in there because they were unable to complete it due to a medical condition. And you'll see it pops up in my salmon pink once it saves and populates. It won't affect his score. If I were to change this to a 0, for example, his mark would drop from a 71 to a 62. But because I'm using that code of MED, I am allowing that to go on with that. So the other thing that we can do is, so that's a way to exempt him. The other thing we can do is, here's the learning journal assignment. Now, Hong Bak Chao handed in their learning journal, and they did really well. They obviously got 100%. But I'm going to say that they handed it in late. So what I need to do when I want to add that footnote is go to Options and Lookup. Now what happens when you go with Lookup is you get a list of the things that you can enter. So you get your special code and you get your footnote. Now you can just enter the special code because it replaces a mark, but because footnotes don't necessarily replace the mark, they have to be added through this process. So it's either going, we'll do it one more time, going over here to lookup and then filtering it by footnote, and then you go to L8 and you can say OK. Now, next to Hong Bakchao's mark, we can see that there is a little footnote of L8. Okay? It's a visual reminder to us. Iraj had the same thing, so you can go Control L and footnote L8, and then Kalinka, though, was somebody who handed it in early. So footnotes are just a useful reminder to us if we wanted to have some comment for ourselves. What the students see. So just to confirm what the student can see, I've gone online and accessed Hong Bachao Giannakis's account. And if I look under the academics tab for this student, I can see the averages for each of my sections. And then if I look under the assignments tab, I can see the marks. And here's that learning journal final assignment that I added a footnote to, no footnote. And I can also see for test one prime numbers, I added a medical code just so that we can see what the student sees. So it says medical exempt missing here. So if the student wants to come back and complete that, then they will be able to. That salmon coding, salmon color that I added does not show up in the student view. Making your own comments. Another thing we can do in the tools section is to create our own comments. Each course is populated with a school-wide district comment bank. And so you can ask for different comment banks to be given to your course, and administration should be able to do that. If you'd like to create your own comment to add to the comment bank, you can click on that district comment bank, and then mostly it'll show up like this in terms of when you get to that page. Under this filter menu, then, you want to go to all codes so you can see all of the codes that are there. The reason that we want to go there is because we want to just be able to see what the existing codes are, because we don't want to duplicate. Okay, so for example, there's a number of A codes, some D codes. I'm not seeing any C codes. Get it? C code. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Okay. So if you were going to add, you could go over here and add a comment. Now this is your place to do that, so I'm going to type in C01, and the comment preview is sloth-like, and the comment itself is student behaves in a slothful manner. You have to put it in a category. So here is where you would put in district comment banks. And basically you are adding that to the district comment banks. And when you press saved, it saves it to the bank. Now it hasn't saved it for the whole school because every copy every teacher, every class gets a copy of their own. So basically what we've done is we've added it in there, and we can filter it down, and that is an enabled code. Okay, so under all comments, you'll see it under C. So over here, there's C01. Okay, and that means that when I am entering comments at the end of year, so if I go to my scores and I want to enter a comment here, I can go here, and in the district comment banks, we'll see sloth-like show up. And you can just click on it and it'll show up in that student's comment. This is not something that I've used a lot. There we go. So I double clicked it several times. So you can add that in there. And yes, I'm aware that I misspelled manner. That's how you can add your own comments. Any further comments, questions, concerns, or you want to get help, contact me through Teams. Okay, why isn't it taking a picture? Oh, it's taking a video.